I'm Dr. Deb Butler, and you are listening to Thinner Peace and Menopause and Beyond. This is episode number 393. Welcome to Thinner Peace and Menopause and Beyond. This is Dr. Deb Butler, Master Life and Weight Coach, and as always, your coach. If you're a woman and you're smart and you're successful and you've been struggling with weight your whole life, and now menopause is making it harder than ever, and you are ready to make this the last time you ever have to go on a diet again, then this podcast is for you. Stay tuned. Well, hello, all my dear friends all over the world. Today is an exciting day because I'm going to introduce you to one of my clients who I just finished working with. And she is so filled with enlightening concepts, and she feels so amazing that I thought it would be lovely to share her experience with you in case you're needing some kind of a tune-up like she did. Her name is Deborah. And she actually came to me and had never heard my podcast, and now was listening to my podcast all the time. But I'd love for you to hear her story and how she went through this process with me and how it helped her. So sit back, take a walk, take a bubble bath, whatever it is you do, and enjoy this interview with Deborah. And I'll get back on at the end and say a few words. Hi, Deborah. Welcome to my podcast.
Hi. Great to be here.
Hi. Great to be here with you. Okay. Nobody knows you yet, but I am so excited to have you on here because I feel like the journey that you and I have gone on together in our individual coaching is something that I want to share with everybody that listens to this podcast, because I think that the work that you've done and where you are in your life because of the work that you've done in the coaching that I've done is worth sharing.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And I always get so excited when we get towards the end. And because when I listen to you talk, I get so excited because it's like, she's just saying everything I think. She's just saying everything I teach.
That's right.
But it's not
it
like
works.
but
Hello.
But it's like it's yours. It's not mine. It's yours.
Yes.
You own it. It's like she's just not saying these words. She owns them. That's what's so exciting.
Yeah.
So we can't start where you are now because otherwise people will not understand the magnitude of how far you've come. So what I would like to do is if you would not mind sharing to all of us, what made you decide to do a mini session with me to talk about the possibility of working together? What inspired you to do that?
Well, I never listened to your podcast.
Yes. Repeat that again, because I
have never listened to your podcast until after our mini session and after we started working together.
Yeah.
Then I decided, well, I better go back and listen to the podcast.
Yeah. So
I looked and you had like 300 of them or something that I had not listened to.
So what inspired you?
Well, I was doing what I did a lot, which was being awake in the middle of the night, like 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And feeling sad and worried and obsessed and looking for yet another way that I could maybe like lose weight or think about food differently or stop thinking about food or stop obsessing about or something.
Mm-hmm.
And something I searched for your website came up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I searched for. And something you said on that website made me click on do a mini session.
And we don't know what that something is to this day. Isn't that correct?
Right. I can't find it. I'm not really exactly sure.
Uh-huh.
I think it was the thinking about food differently.
Mm-hmm.
That was part of it.
And the way that you're saying to me, it's like you were pretty, I don't know if we're going to call it depressed, but you were kind of sick of this.
Oh, I was so sick of it. I have been dieting or thinking about my weight and food. And I mean, all the time, thinking about food, thinking about what I look like, thinking about food all the time
Hmm.
since I was like 12.
Wow.
I'm 52.
And you're 52. So for 40 years,
Yeah.
that's what you've been doing in your head.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
I was so sick of it.
Do you know why you got so sick of it all of a sudden? I think that's interesting. That, what was the point where it's just like, I'm just not doing this. I can't take this. I'm not doing it anymore.
Well, I think it's because I had been kind of working on myself and I had
Yes.
actually been seeing a life coach,
Yeah.
which I thought was going to be hopefully about also weight, but we never really got there because that's just not what she does. And that was working. I was feeling a bit better just generally,
Uh huh.
but the food obsession was still there. And I just wanted to get it away from me.
And maybe that is the inspiration or what you saw on my website was the whole idea of bringing up the mind and how you see your body and how you eat, but it's more of a mind thing
Yes.
and less of a body thing and what you eat thing.
Yes. Actually, that was my favorite thing when we first started
Yeah.
doing food journals. I never told you that.
Well, tell me.
It's not about the food. Who
Yeah.
cares? Just write it down. We did not talk about food. I mean, I can't remember when we started talking about food. Have we
Yeah.
talked about food? I'm sure we have.
Point well taken for everybody that's listening is that, and yet food journaling was imperative to your journey. Would you not say that that's true?
Oh, you have to do it. But it
Mhm.
really felt like, well, before, right? You do food journals and you're on some plan and then you match or don't match the plan and then you give whatever. There's just
Yeah.
so much stuff about food journals. These food journals didn't feel like that at all.
Which is interesting to talk about because most people feel about food journals the way you used to is
Yeah.
almost like a reporting of the food that you're eating and if you're on plan or if you're off plan.
Right. Exactly. It's like you're winning or you're losing.
Uh-huh. And then
That's it.
when you think you're winning, you like to
It's
journal.
great. Yeah.
And when you think you're not, you don't want to put it down on a food journal.
Right. Instead of put it down, what's been happening? What happened? Like, can we talk about it? Let's talk about it. What happened? Why are you overeating? Why are you whatever? Because what happened
And
in your day?
and that's where you and I started because I think in the beginning you pretty much said to me and I do say this a lot in our mini session is you just need to do what I tell you to do.
Yes.
And I had your firm commitment that you would. And you are a woman who does what she says you are.
Yes.
And I think that was probably part of the confusing part of everything is that you are a woman that does what she says she's going to do. And you didn't understand this confusion around food in your body when you have such a firm stance on most things.
That's right. Yeah.
Mhm. And people who are listening to you may not be able to hear that in you yet. But I'm saying about you is that if you say you're going to do something, just get out of your way.
Yes. That is true.
That's
I'm
how I
just going
see
to do
that.
it.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's how I see
Mhm.
you. And I knew on that mini session when you said, "Oh no, whatever you say, I'm going to do it.
Oh,
I don't
I
want to
signed
deal
up.
with this."
I told you we booked, I think, a time before you told me how much it was or how many weeks it was. I had no idea.
That's right.
I was like, let's just do it. When can we do it? Let's do it.
And that is the way that you function. It's like once you make a decision, and I think it's really this way for most people, the difference between confusion and a decision, for you, it was a decision. Let's do it. Let's go. And you were off to the races from day one. You knew, you didn't even know what I did. You weren't even sure how I did it,
Right.
but you knew that somehow that you were going to get to the bottom of what was causing this obsession with eating and food. And you knew, because I told you, I don't care so much what you're eating.
Yes.
What did you think
Yeah.
of that?
I just was like, oh, then I just relaxed. I was like, oh, well, then let's just do it. Like, okay, then let's go.
And what you got really good at, and what anybody that works with me will get really good at, is you get good at your numbers. You get good at
Yeah.
your physical hunger scale numbers and your emotional hunger scale numbers. And you start writing down your numbers, and your numbers give me a clue into how I want to coach you on a certain food entry. So, you want to say something about what that was like for you being coached on what you were eating and not really me caring what you were eating. And yet it was kind of revealing in so many ways.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say. The numbers being higher, right?
Hmm.
Whether it was the emotion or overeating, whichever,
Hmm.
was always like a revelation. This is why. Oh, and maybe I could not see it, but it was, it was yesterday. It was earlier in the day. Something had happened. There was some emotion there.
Hmm.
And that's what I was eating instead of noticing the emotion, noticing the thought. So I could figure out what I was going to do with it and not eat it
And up until that point, you were busy eating it. So you never had to deal with the emotions
every time, all the time.
all the time.
Yeah.
And I guess for me watching you do that was also so revealing about so many things because you were all in it. You weren't afraid of it. You just didn't understand it. And you knew now that these food journals held the answers to why you're eating when you're not hungry, if I could coach you on it.
Yeah, exactly. I never would have
And
found that myself.
that's what you found out yourself over time.
Yeah.
And because you're a woman of strong commitment and you say you're going to do whatever it takes, because that's who you were from the beginning, you would email me whenever something popped up on your food journals that looked like emotional hunger and you knew you weren't physically hungry, you could not wait to get coached on it. That's how it ended up,
That's right.
right? You
Here it
weren't
is. I
afraid
did a
of it.
model or something. I couldn't do the model. So here it is. Right.
And you
Yeah.
weren't afraid of it. It became, once again, like a revelation into learning something about yourself when you saw yourself eating when you're not hungry. So it was something you wanted to put on your food journal and you could not wait to get coached on it because that's basically what our coaching sessions were about, not what you were eating, but when you had strong emotion, why were you eating?
Right.
So you want to say a little bit about that? I mean, you can get as personal as you want or not, but what that was like for you, because a lot of it had to do with evenings, and everybody that's listening to this call has an evening something or another.
Yeah. I mean, my theory about why things come up more in the evenings
What is your theory?
is that you have all the emotions and the thoughts and all of that stuff, but then on top of it, you're tired, right? So if you thought you were resisting and controlling those emotions earlier, which is not the good plan anyway, your resistance goes down. So you, instead of feeling the emotions, you eat
Oh my God, that is
because they
brilliant.
just get so much bigger that you've got to do something with them. When I didn't know what to do with them, I would just eat them.
And you said to me, I remember from the beginning, is that you knew that you did this.
Yeah.
You knew that at nighttime, yeah, I just feel angry and I just feel this and I just feel that. You could say that. You were that much aware. You just didn't know what to do with it.
Right.
So, what was the difference between before you were working with me and you still, I think you knew some of that stuff was there, some of those emotions were there, but you ate it and drank it anyway,
Yes.
right? And so, what was the difference between eating and drinking it anyway and then not eating and drinking it anymore? What was the difference for you? How did you end up feeling it, allowing yourself to feel it and not eat it or drink it? And we'll talk a little bit more about the drinking too.
I think it was just with you being able to feel even any of the emotions and knowing how to feel them, which I'm still completely practicing, right? I do not do that
Yes.
all the time at
Yes.
all, but I'm trying really hard to just feel them.
Well,
And
you're
I do
aware.
believe, really, if you feel them, they go away. And if you feel them, let's say they're huge,
Uh huh.
if you feel them, then you actually can go back and figure out what you were thinking to make you feel that. When they're so huge, you can't figure out what in the world am I thinking that's making me feel like this.
Good point. So we can talk about that a little bit too, because I think that a lot of times people think all I want to do is just change it. All I want to do is just change it. And what you went through is that before you could change it, you had to see, you had to feel what needed to be changed before you could actually change it. So if you were angry and you were thinking that somebody did you wrong, let's just say that in
Yeah.
your mind, you just believed that somebody did something and they shouldn't have done it because that kind of happened a lot. Anger was a feeling
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
would come up a lot, right?
Yeah.
Uh
For
huh.
sure.
And when the anger was really strong, or you knew that you were thinking that they just shouldn't have done that. First of all, in the beginning, I don't even think you knew that the thought was what was causing you
No, definitely
the
not.
anger. You
Yeah,
thought the person was causing you your
for
anger,
sure.
whoever it was,
Yes, right. Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Which is the way it is with most people. And through us working together on the model that our thoughts create our feelings and our feelings create our actions and our actions create our results, you started to be able to see that you really didn't have to control the
Yes.
person that was causing your negative emotion. It was your brain that was causing you the negative emotion.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to tell you. Here's my personal thing I will tell you.
Okay,
That was
tell
the
me.
thing that got me
Okay,
on
tell me
the
what got you.
understanding the model and the thoughts and all the stuff. The thoughts about my mother,
I can't believe
who
you're
was
going to talk
very
about it.
overweight,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she made a comment to me when I was 12 that when she was 12, she
Mm-hmm.
weighed a lot less than I did. And I made that mean that, well, I'm heavier than my mom was when she was 12. So clearly I'm going to be heavier than she is now when I'm older. I just
Mm-hmm.
made it mean that. And you and I talked about like what could her motivation have been for that statement and other random things she said that felt mean to me and upsetting. To think she said that stuff to me because she loved me so much, not because she was trying to hurt my feelings. So, first, feeling how bad I felt about stuff that my mom said,
Mm-hmm.
actually feeling it first, and then changing what I thought about it. It was like the second session or the first.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was, as is with many, many women and their mothers, alive or not alive,
Yeah.
they live in our brains. And all we remember more than anything is what our thoughts were way back when.
Right.
And we think those thoughts, as you did, was an actual fact about you or her, when all it was really was she said something, you made it mean something, and you're still making it mean the same thing 40 and 50 years later.
Right.
And I think what you're saying is that once you realize you didn't have to think that anymore, like what she said, you can't change it.
Right.
But what you think in the present moment is totally changeable
Totally changeable.
and
Totally
totally
changeable
changed you pretty quickly.
immediately. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Second session. Second session. But it was very
Yeah.
important because she came up a lot
Well, and then
in
she
our
just disappeared,
and
which
yes,
is great. I love my mom, but we don't need to talk about my mom, about me and how I feel and my food and all that stuff.
she's not with you every day. And yet it felt like
Mm-mm.
she was.
Yes.
And she was saying things and you were talking back to yourself as if you were 10 years old.
Right.
And instead of a 52-year-old woman with a great brain that can see things clearly. And so you stop making it mean that's going to happen to you.
That's right.
That was kind of freeing, wasn't it?
Oh my God. Yeah, totally.
And a lot of women probably can relate to that because I think mothers and daughters and bodies and weight have a lot of things that can be worked out if we're able to see our own thinking clear enough,
Mm-hmm.
which is the beauty of what you got to do because of your own awareness, because you're the one that brought it up. Like you knew it was something, you just didn't know what it was. You knew it was causing problems, you just didn't know how to deal with it.
Right. Yeah.
So that was freeing right from the beginning.
Yeah. Actually believing, which I do for sure. You can think whatever you want. And if you change your thinking and believe it, you're going to feel differently.
And
And
you're
you
going to
do.
live. And you do.
Yeah.
And not only that, and I think what's really important to talk about too is that, and just like you said, it's not like you're never going to feel bad.
No,
I
of
don't
course
teach
not.
you. I don't teach
Yeah.
you how to change your thinking so you never feel bad. Right?
Right.
What have you learned? Tell everybody what I mean. Tell
Sometimes you're just
everybody
going
what
to
I
feel
mean.
bad because sometimes you want to think that thought, whatever it is, and it's going to make you feel bad. And that's okay. But you just got
Like,
to feel it.
and you, my darling, are not afraid to feel those negative emotions anymore, are you?
Not anymore. I absolutely was.
You absolutely were. And because you were afraid to feel or think you shouldn't be feeling something,
Right.
which I think a lot of what was going on in the evenings too is I shouldn't be feeling this and I shouldn't be eating this and I shouldn't be drinking this. Well, what should I be doing?
That's right. I know. Yeah, I'm not really sure exactly.
I mean,
All of
really, it's
these are
kind of
not
like,
what I'm supposed to be doing. Right.
so what's it like for you now?
Evenings or generally
Generally
evenings.
speaking, and then go to
Yeah.
evening.
So, well, first of all, I feel great generally. I do not obsess about food at all,
Mm,
like at all. I still do my food journals because they're extremely helpful. I can notice when I am feeling something, even if I don't figure out what is it that I'm thinking to make me feel this way immediately. I at least can write it down and go back and think about it or
mhm,
bring it to you. I feel great. I
mm.
feel like amazing.
Wow. And just to be clear, you did not feel amazing before.
I did not feel amazing. Yeah, I was like feeling rather desperate.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are like that in the beginning. And you even said in the beginning, and I think this is interesting, not everybody is like this, but you just said to me, I don't even care if I lose weight
No, I
at the
didn't.
beginning. I don't
Mhm.
even care if I lose weight. I just want to get rid of this relationship that I have with food.
Yeah. No, I didn't
Yeah.
at all care.
And I think that's really important. Now, since that time, you care more because now you realize you're in control.
Right. Well, now I know I can do it for sure
Right. Right.
without
And
obsessing. And it
it's,
doesn't
I
feel
think,
like a chore. It's just easy.
say a little bit more about it's easy. What do you mean it's easy?
Well, somehow it seems because I'm not obsessing about everything, because I can see and feel my emotions. It's just now the food journals just help you lose weight if you just notice what you're eating.
And
I'm just
notice your
happier.
numbers.
So yeah, exactly. If you eat in the
Hmm.
numbers, you just lose weight. It's like everybody says on the regular diet plans. Whatever, if you just eat like this, you just lose weight. But they miss all of the emotional stuff, which you
Except
have
for
to
all
do,
the
which I
emotions,
feel
you
like
need to
you
go.
have to do first. You have to do the emotional stuff first.
That's the biggest difference, really. And I think that's why you feel amazing, is because you actually can feel negative emotion. So I just want everybody to hear this is that if you want to feel amazing, it's important that you learn how to feel negative emotion because that's what everybody wants to stay away from so that they think they can feel amazing.
Right.
And yet, what
Not
you're
true.
saying, I know you're saying the exact opposite.
Yeah. And I'm going to say what I just told you about that, the podcast with another listener, where you said something like, if you resist whatever those emotions are, negative, you keep resisting them, they're with you all the time, a little bit. That was me for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I was depressed all the time, a little bit, because I was resisting feeling sad, mad, whatever it was every time.
Not unusual, but it's good to know. And it's good to know that the scariest part was thinking that you were going to live the rest of your life being obsessed with food in your body, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And a lot of people are more scared of feeling their emotions, but realizing that if you let yourself feel the emotions, you don't have to be afraid anymore and you won't be obsessed with food or your body anymore. It's like
Right.
one thing leads to the other. It's not the opposite way. You don't resist it, you allow it. And that's how you start losing weight.
Right. Yeah.
It's almost like, boy, I should repeat that, but I don't think I can repeat it again. But that is pretty good. Okay. So, one last thing I just want to ask you. What would you say to somebody who's listening to this podcast who was desperate, who's sick of it? What would you say to them if they were thinking about wanting to work with me or go through this process? What would you say and how would you encourage them?
Well, I think first, there's no hurdle, right? With the mini session,
Yeah.
it's free. And I'm talking to everyone. You will love Dr. Deb. You will just love her. She is the least judgmental person I have ever met. So caring, and she can really help you. I sound awesome and I feel awesome. And you're right, we should have recorded my mini session
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I did not sound or feel awesome at all
Mhm.
before.
And now,
It's amazing how much different I feel.
because one of the things that you said to me, and I think this is important too, is when we talk about why is this the last time you will ever lose weight again? You said one sentence. And the sentence that you said is because I'm calm around food. And I think that was what compelled you in the beginning, wasn't the weight, that wasn't the number on the scale. It was feeling like you could feel calm around food.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel calm around food?
100%.
100%.
No
And,
more food drama.
no more food drama. And it opens up your brain to so many things.
Oh, so many things. I know I have so much space in my brain for
Oh,
so much other stuff.
oh my gosh, Deborah.
Yeah.
Well, all I can say is that I am so lucky to have someone like you to work with.
I
And
am so lucky I found you in the
uh,
middle of the night.
in the middle of the night,
In the middle of the night.
I think a lot of people look for me in the middle of the night. I see a lot of mini sessions being set up in the middle of the night. And it's nice to know that for you, that this calm feeling that you have around food, has it not entered the rest of your life too?
Oh, yes, definitely. It's not at all that I don't feel emotions, but I feel so much calmer about everything, just
So it's
everything.
not really just about the food, is it?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
First, and even more so, it's my whole life. And then there's the food, and I can lose weight.
Right. And would you say that your whole life is a little bit different because you were willing to do the work on the food?
Absolutely.
All
A
right.
lot different.
Deborah, thank you so much for being on my podcast. So enlightening. That's all I have to say. Every time I talk to you, I feel enlightened. So thank you for being on my podcast. And I loved every minute of working with you.
Thank you so much.
Well, what did I tell you about Deborah? She is amazing and she feels amazing. And I have to say one word about amazing is that I'm going to change that word. I'm not going to use it anymore after this because I use it so much that it ends up not feeling as amazing as it should be. But for the purpose of this, let's just say, and I will quote her, that for her it was amazing and that she was pretty depressed at the beginning and desperate and made a mini session with me in the middle of the night when she couldn't sleep and she was obsessing about what she was going to eat and how she was going to lose weight. And she came across my website and read something that was just totally different to her. And she thought that maybe the process that I use is different enough that she may be able to lose that obsession. And that's exactly what happened. And now what she says, I love what she says because in the end, I ask my clients this one question. Why is this the last time that you'll ever need to lose weight again? And her sentence was simple. She said, because I feel calm around food. And I want you to know, dear listener, since I've been working with her, is that she does. She used to like to drink alcohol at night to calm all the emotions that she was feeling. She knew it, but she didn't know how to change it. Now alcohol is not that interesting to her anymore. She can take it or leave it. She can have it or not. That is what I want for you. And it's so exciting to watch somebody go through this process. And I know a lot of you are like Deborah was. You're smart. You have a great career. You're doing great things in the world. And yet you stay up in the middle of the night worried about your body, your weight, and what you're going to eat tomorrow. If this is you, then I want to encourage you to do what Deborah did. You can set up a mini session with me by going to drdebbutler.com/work with me. And you will be able to set up a mini session and I can talk you through it. I can tell you what it's like and I can tell you if I think I can help you or not. That's the purpose of the mini session, is to make sure that I think I can help you and you think I can help you. So if this sounds good to you and you're ready to make this the last time that you ever need to lose weight again, then go to drdebbutler.com/work with me and get on it. And of course, until next week, I would never end this podcast without reminding you that no matter where you go or who you're with, please, please, please be very, very kind to yourself, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye. If you're loving my podcast and you would like some more information to be able to follow along with, then please go to drdebbutler.com/change, and you can get a free copy of my companion book that goes with this podcast that I refer to in many different episodes. That is drdebbutler.com/change, CHANGE.